Nika, lay motionless on the massive king-sized bed long after Silas had fallen into a heavy, snoring sleep. The silk sheets, which cost more than her father's entire year of rent, felt like sandpaper against her skin. Her cheek throbbed, not just from the slap, but from the raw realization that her life was no longer her own. She was a commodity, bought and paid for, a living receipt for her family's sudden comfort. The next morning, her new life began with terrifying speed. At 7 a.m., a driver was waiting to take her to their new mansion in Lekki. Silas was already dressed in another perfect suit, acting as if the violence from the night before had just been a bad dream. "Eat your breakfast, Nika," he said, gesturing to a spread of kidneys, liver, and eggs. "We have a busy day. People are coming to pay their respects to the new bride," Nika whispered, her voice cracking. "Yes, sir." She remembered his warning. He looked up, a thin, satisfied smile playing on his lips. "Good, you learn fast. I like a woman who knows her place." The first few months were a blur of performance. To the outside world, Nika was the luckiest woman in Lagos. She drove a white Range Rover. Her wardrobe overflowed with expensive lace and silk, and her skin began to glow from the constant air conditioning and expensive creams. But that glow was just a mask. Underneath the high-neck blouses she started wearing, even in the sweltering heat, were the marks of Silas's corrections. A plate left with a smudge. A sharp pinch on the back of her arm. A phone call to her mother that lasted too long. A shove against the heavy wardrobe. A look of sadness during a high society party. A grip on her wrist so tight it left a ring of purple the next day. One Sunday, Silas allowed her to visit her family in their new apartment. The change was miraculous. Her father looked 5 years younger, sitting in a comfortable chair, his breathing steady thanks to expensive medications Silas provided. Her brothers, Chidi and Tachukwa, were dressed in crisp school uniforms, talking excitedly about their new private school. "You look like a queen. Truly, God used Silas to wash away our shame." "Mama, I miss home," Nika said, her voice trembling. "Home. You have a husband's house now, Nika. Every marriage has its small quarrels. You must be patient. A woman builds her home with her own hands." "Nika," her father called out from his chair, his voice firm. "Don't be ungrateful." Those words hit Nika harder than any of Silas's blows. Her family's happiness was the fence that kept her trapped. She realized she couldn't tell them. If she broke her marriage, she broke their lives. She returned to Lekki that evening in a state of numb despair. "I did it for you, Nika," he said, "because I want you to be focused. Your only job now is to give me a son." He stood up and walked toward her. Nika involuntarily flinched. Silas's face darkened instantly. "Why are you jumping like a bush animal?" he hissed, grabbing her hair and pulling her head back. "Who did you talk to?" "No one, sir. I swear. I have eyes everywhere, Nika. If I find out you are gossiping about our private life, I will stop the payments for your father's treatment. One phone call, and he is back in that gutter you crawled out of." He threw her away from him, and she fell against the glass coffee table. A sharp pain shot through her ribs as she felt warm blood soaking through her wrapper. Silas just finished his drink and walked upstairs. "Clean yourself up. You look disgusting." Nika sat on the cold marble floor, clutching her side. She was a brilliant woman who could have been healing people, but here she was, bleeding on a floor she wasn't allowed to walk on without shoes. What she saw made her blood turn to ice. It wasn't a death certificate. Evelyn wasn't dead. She was hidden away in a private facility, paid for by Silas to keep her silent. She wasn't just a wife or a sacrifice. She was the replacement for a woman he had already broken.